4 signs you came to close cycles. There comes a moment in life when the silence grows louder than any voice, and the weight of what you've carried no longer belongs to your hands. That's when you know you didn't just stumble into this chapter. You were summoned to close it. Cycles don't end by chance. They end by necessity. Here are 4 signs you weren't born to repeat, but to finish what others could not. 1. The old no longer moves you, not with pain, not with pleasure. When things that once set your soul on fire now feel silent, not dead, not bitter, but irrelevant, you're not numb. You've grown beyond the reach of that cycle. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." But sometimes what once was the way is no longer even in your path. If the betrayal no longer hurts, if the praise no longer excites, if their opinions fall upon you like raindrops on stone, you're not broken. You're being emptied, so you can walk forward with less. Emotionally detaching doesn't mean you feel nothing. It means you've stopped giving your power to what's already behind you. This is a sacred detachment. It's not escape, it's elevation. 2. You feel the urge to burn bridges without bitterness. There's a difference between rage and resolve. You're not cutting people off out of anger. You're simply not willing to dilute your energy for what no longer aligns with your direction. Seneca once wrote, "Every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end." To begin a new life, you must first be brave enough to end the old one. And the truest ending? It's the one that doesn't demand a final word. You just leave. Not to make a statement, but because there's nothing left to explain. No apologies, no vengeance, just stillness. Because those who came to evolve don't wait for permission to move on. We don't announce our exits, we become them. 3. You no longer seek closure because you've created your own. There was a time you needed answers. You wanted to know why they did it, what went wrong, why it ended the way it did. You believed that healing came wrapped in explanations. But now, you don't chase closure anymore. You've realized that silence is an answer, that absence is a response, and that sometimes the most powerful closure is walking away without needing to be understood. Epictetus taught us, it's not things that upset us, but our judgments about things. And when we stop judging what happened as good or bad, we stop being prisoners of our past. You no longer need them to say sorry. You no longer need to prove you were right. You simply let go, not because they deserved peace, but because you do. You've become your own resolution, and that's when the cycle ends, when your inner peace no longer depends on outer validation. 4. Your solitude no longer feels empty, it feels sacred. There was a time when being alone felt like punishment. The silence was loud, the stillness felt like abandonment. But now, something has changed. Now you don't run from solitude, you return to it. You've come to understand what Seneca meant when he said, "The greatest blessing of mankind is within us and within our reach." You've stopped seeking noise to drown your thoughts. You've stopped chasing people to distract you from yourself, because you've faced the void and found peace staring back at you. You realize now, solitude is not loneliness, it's self-respect. It's the sacred space where you heal, where you rebuild, where you remember who you truly are, without the world's noise shaping your identity. When solitude becomes your sanctuary, you've closed the cycle that kept you needing approval, attention, or distraction. And you've stepped into something far more powerful, inner sovereignty. You are not here to stay stuck. You were never meant to endlessly orbit a chapter that no longer challenges your soul. A higher order, call it fate, call it the universe, has placed this fire inside you not to destroy, but to purify. Every time you feel the tug to close a cycle, remember, you are not abandoning your past. You're honoring it by refusing to let it chain your future. This is not the end. It's the silence before your real beginning. If this message resonated with you, subscribe to the Stoic Verse for more Stoic wisdom to guide your journey.